This is Anoki, the one on the ones and twos, and I just want to do a quick tribute to Missy Elliott because she just dropped some heat, so let's get into it.
Whoa. This is a Missy Elliott exclusive.
Yeah. Walk up in the thing, I be on my game. If it's competition, I put them to shame. Different kind of chick, we are not the same. I raised all these babies, call me Captain Jackson. Please don't steal my style, I might cuss you out. What you doing now? I did for a while. Missy, 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 go ahead, let it snap. I'ma snatch they wigs till I see that scap. Booty, booty claps, flying across the map. Lambo on the block, looking like a snack. I show you how I do it, show you how it's done. Don't look for another Missy, cause there be no another one. Watch me, throw it back, 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 throw it back, throw it back, throw it back, watch me, 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 throw it back, throw it back, throw it back, throw it back. Middle finger flip, get up off my tip. Money, money, clip, Louis on my hip. Lambo be the whip, like banana split. Look at all my ice, see the way my jewelry drip. Come up off that lit, yeah he wanna kick it, but he cannot kick it unless he beat my digit. Call me Missy, I don't play them digits. Man, I'm so legit. Watch me flip, reverse it, flip it and reverse it. Stupid with the verses. Man, I got the coat and shoes just to match the purses. I don't need rehearsing. The way I throw it back, I show the whole crowd how I work it. Throw it back, throw it back, throw it back, throw it back. Watch me, throw it back, 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 throw it back, throw it back, throw it back. Watch me, throw it back, throw it back, throw it back, throw it back. Check. Missy make up her own rules. Not many can do what I do. So many beat and maze that I can live on the moon. Man, I jump and you leap. Better wake up if you sleep. I did records for tweet before y'all could even tweet. Y'all be thinking shit sweet. Been hot before you can speak. I'm like Heavy D. Everyone let me capiche. Need a PJ when I'm taking flight. Get your review and your ratings right. Missy still got them losing control. And every night still late as night. Watch me, throw it back, throw it back, throw it back, throw it back. Watch me, throw it back, throw it back, throw it back, throw it back. Watch me.
Slow songs, they for skinny hoes. Can't move all of this, here to one of those. I'm a thick bitch, I need tempo. Fuck it up to the tempo. Pity pat, pity pat, pity pity pat. Look at my ass, it's fitty fitty fat. Kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty kitty cat. Pour me a glass, boy, I like my water wet. Throw it back,
I missed this
catch
kind of music,
that. I need a jack for all of this ass, but it won't go flat. Baby, come eat some of this cake. He look like he could gain a little weight. Lick the icing off, put the rest in your face. Slow songs, they for skinny hoes. Can't move all of this, here to one of those. I'm a thick bitch, I need tempo. Fuck it up to the tempo. Fuck it up to the tempo. Fuck it up to the tempo. Slow songs, they for skinny hoes. Fuck it up to the tempo. Fuck it up, fuck it up. Boyfriend watching, oh now you wanna knuckle up. Get on this ride, baby, you gon' have to buckle up. Thick thighs, save lives, call me little buttercup. All means necessary. My ass is not an accessory. Yeah, I said it, accessory. Twerk skills up on legendary. Slow songs, they for skinny hoes. Can't move all of this, here to one of those. I'm a thick bitch, I need tempo. Fuck it up to the tempo. Fuck it up to the tempo. Fuck it up to the tempo. Slow songs, they for skinny hoes. Fuck it up to the tempo.
Missy, let's go, let's go, let's go. All the fly girls head to the dance floor. Kitty cat, brrr. All the thick girls down on a brrr. Ice on my neck like brrr. I'm big bone with nice curves. Look at me, I know I look grrr. Look good, look good, look good. I'ma show y'all chicks how to do. Yo nigga, he wish he could. Big girl, split, get a bag.
bitch, I need tempo. Fuck it up to the tempo. Fuck it up to the tempo. Fuck it up to the tempo. Slow songs with the skinny hoes. Fuck it up to the tempo. Girl, run that shit back.
Last one before podcast starts. So, get it.
What's cracking, people? This is Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. Big shout out to my man Mike Q. It's about to get cunty. Raise the mind, bitches.
Nigga, you pissed on trip. Nigga, you pissed on trip. Nigga, you pissed on trip. Nigga, you pissed
Serious
on trip.
man.
Nigga, you pissed on trip. Nigga, you pissed on trip. Nigga, you pissed on trip. I'ma have to bust you with
Y'all
your
ready?
lips.
First like to thank Missy Elliott for dropping this heat on us unexpectedly. I mean, wow. Like, wow. I don't know if anybody else knew about it. I saw the post on Instagram right before she released it. So I was just like, oh no, wait a minute. And yeah, she delivered 100%. I am excited. Like, the music video was hot. I mean, just everything. Like, I'm so excited. And she graduated and got a PhD. So she is a doctorate degree. She's a doctor now. So that's live. I mean, women are just doing it right now. Like, we're taking over. Like, we are taking over. And I think it's wonderful. I just came back from New York, and the beautiful thing that I saw was that every single DJ that I saw the whole time I was there was a woman. And I was just like, what's up? Like, let me get to New York now. Like, this is live. So it was just really awesome experience. I am inspired. I know I took a little break because I was dealing with haters, thieves, and learning from adversity, which is what we're going to be talking about today. But yeah, a lot has happened. And so touch on a little bit of that. But basically, like, whenever I am on the path and wanting to do something great, you know what I mean? Like this podcast, or, pivoting in my business, or, whatever the case may be, I get attacked spiritually. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, I expect it. But at the same time, it's like, what the Matrix is about, it's coming, whatever the case may be. People may say this is negative, whatever. I think it's reality. Like, when you go against the Matrix, when you go against your comfort zone and your programming, uncomfortable things happen to you. And that's what has been happening to me. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So, if you have not watched The Matrix, you need to watch it so you can really understand the stuff that I be talking about. You know what I mean? So, like, I believe that the haters and the thieves and adversity in general is just like the agents in the Matrix. So there's this Matrix, there's this fake reality, or whatever you created reality that the masses follow. And there are these agents that want to keep you in that mindset of the Matrix. And when they see something or someone who is veering from that Matrix and threatening to wake other people up, agents come. And it's not always like, people always make it seem like it's secret societies and all this stuff. These are the laws of the universe. This is not like just these specific secret society people are after people all the time. This is spiritual laws of the universe. There's yin and the yang. And what most people do when resistance comes to them is they fold, they quit. And it talks a lot about that in a book called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And he has a chapter on learning from adversity that has changed my life. I've listened to it on repeat numerous times throughout my life, because my life has been a collection of adversities, like a lot. Everything that I do now is because of the adversities that I've had. And like, when people are like, good vibes only, and we don't need none of that negativity over here, I feel like we all need balance. There's yin and the yang. If it hadn't been for the negative things that happened to me, and if I were to have just been like, oh, I'm not going to succumb to the negativity, instead of getting angry, this Thriving Artist University came out of anger, frustration, betrayal, upset, betrayal from the system. Basically, I was rejected from a big college that I wanted to go to for audio engineering, and basically to be what I'm doing, do what I'm doing now, what I was already doing. I was going to go there to give them $100,000 to teach me how to do what I've already been doing. And that I got online courses, and it took a while, but I've learned exactly what I wanted to learn. 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't have learned exactly what I wanted to learn at that kind of institution, and I would have spent $100,000 doing it. But I got rejected because I didn't have 2 co-signers. So because I could not back myself financially, I didn't have 2 people to back me financially, I was not able to go to that school. So I was just like, oh, I got angry. And I thought about all the people who are like me, who don't have rich parents that can just throw $100,000 out the window, or they are not about to sit there and put themselves in debt $100,000 for something that's not guaranteed, and especially something that's not exactly what you're looking to do. So, yeah. And then the other side of it is the whole business side being taken advantage of by industry people. That has just happened to me. Like, literally, I found out shortly after my last podcast that somebody that I confided to when I was just starting with my businesses, and I had a whole blueprint. I had done business plan competitions, and I won runner-up for in the category of innovation in the Houston Liftoff business plan competition. And one of my teachers, my entrepreneurship teachers, recommended me to this studio owner to see if, he would want to partner with me because she loved my idea, right? So I go to this guy, and so ironic. I go to this guy, And the purpose of this whole school is so you can have the knowledge to not be taken advantage of. Because if you don't have knowledge in audio engineering, if you don't have knowledge in music production, if you don't have knowledge in songwriting, all these different types of stuff, it's easy for people to rob you out of your money or just to make stuff up, and you would have no idea what they're talking about because you're not knowledgeable. Because that was happening to me all the time. Just like, oh, taking advantage of. So that's the purpose of this business, right? To not get taken advantage of because you're educating people. So I went to this studio owner, and I showed him the idea, I showed him the blueprint, which I shouldn't have showed him. But in order to get funded or get help with something, you have to show people. People are always like, you shouldn't have showed them. But guess what? The only way you can get funded or get help is if you show people. The only way you can market your business is if you show people. So I showed him the blueprint. There's only a few people I showed the blueprint to, like exact layout of how I was going to do my business and why. All right. So, and I trusted the guy. He was recommended by one of my entrepreneurship teachers. And instead of working with me, he's just kind of like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. I think it's great. And this is why, because he's like, honestly, most artists, there's a lot of artists that are making music on their own. So if you provide a space for them to come in and do it on a membership basis and they collaborate, whatever, then yeah, that makes sense because people are already doing it. And really the only thing that we provide as a recording studio that they can't do is acoustically treated rooms. And that's very true. And a lot of people spend a lot of money in these recording studios for acoustically treated rooms. And yes, engineers are important, but with technology, we can do this stuff ourselves. They know that. They don't want us to know that. But it's true. I recorded my entire album and produced every single thing, wrote all the songs of my album. That was my dream, to be able to do that. And I was able to do that with education. So that's the only difference between you and them anyways, education. They know something that you don't know. And when people know things that you don't know, they can take advantage. So fast forward 4 years. 4 years. So he's like, oh yeah, you should go on and do it. So instead, this happened multiple times. Instead of working with me to build it, because I had nothing. I didn't have a space. I had nothing. All I had was a room in Shape Community Center that I had decked out. And it was like the beta version of what I was trying to do because I couldn't get help from anybody or anything. And funding for a music project and being black and a woman is not easy. It's not an easy thing. And somebody's actually told me that, it's easier for a black woman to get funded than a white man nowadays. And I'm like, really? I've tried multiple times on multiple occasions, and it's not just that there's different programs for black people and different programs for women, but there's so few people that could actually get the funding that it almost doesn't count. And then you're still going to people who are not of the color to be accepted. So unless you look just like this, especially when I'm hip hop and I'm doing something that represents hip hop culture and is for hip hop people, it's not easy. Okay. So fast forward 4 years, he gets funded for my idea. He presents my idea to this institution, whatever, gets funded for my idea. This is a white guy who targets mostly black people, black artists in Houston, and steals my idea, gets funded for my idea, puts the blueprint for my idea. Like, when I tell you it's the exact thing, puts it on his Instagram page and says, oh yeah, we came up with this new concept where, you can come in and we have multiple studio setups and you can just come and create. And I'm just like, oh, really? And I was mad. I just went on his Instagram and just blowed it up. And he DMs me and talk about, you should give me a call. The fact that he DM'd me saying, you should give me a call, that's a red flag right there. You're guilty. Like, clearly, We went back and forth. And, like, what I got out of it because, like, I really just wanted to, like, this is my baby. Like, people don't understand, like, I don't plan on having children. My business, my art, my music, that's my baby. That's just like you just stole my baby. What you calling me? It's like you just stole my baby. And then pretended like it was not my baby when you stole it. Like, and what is interesting also is that not like while I was going through this whole situation, figuring out what to do, I actually got in contact with Sophia Stewart, who is the originator, the creator, the owner of the Matrix franchise. If you don't know about this, she's a black woman from New York. Just came from New York. Dang. Black woman from New York. She created the Matrix. She created a book called The Third Eye, Matrix, and in the 80s. And she presented that to some... She created script and everything for it, and she presented that to these movie directors and things like that so they could turn it into a movie. They didn't go forward with her scripts and things like that. But then about 10 years later, she's in the movie theater. It's kind of like she's in the movie theater watching The Matrix, and she's like, this is my goddamn movie. This is my motherfucking movie. And like, what the hell? So she was actually a paralegal in New York, and she said I talked to her for 3 hours, and she was telling me that she had learned from some of the top lawyers in the world, and she had her stuff copywritten. She had everything legally together, and they still stole it. So she took them to court. And that went on like 20 years now. It's been 20 years that she's been fighting, and she won in court because they didn't show up, and then they couldn't prove that they owned it. And she even said, like, if you ever wonder, like, the Wachowski brothers or sisters that they are now, they never did an interview about the Matrix, about creating it, because they didn't come up with it. And so she won that court battle, and I'm going to be interviewing her at the end of September, which I'm super excited about. But we had a conversation about this and about how people will just straight up take your stuff, like, don't care. And it's just really ridiculous. And they, in Hollywood and in the music industry, entertainment industry, they've been doing this. Everybody knows about this, but they don't care who they do it to. They do it to any and everybody. And it needs to stop. Like, it needs to stop. It's ridiculous. But what I got out of this, because not only did that happen, but another thing happened back to back, and then back to back. I was just like, wait, what's going on? And what I realized, which I kind of knew, but still, when you're angry because that is an injustice to you, to who you are. But I realized, like, if these people, and it was like, it went up, like, people that I've looked up to that I thought were so famous that they would not need to steal my ideas, or they were so wealthy that it doesn't make sense for them to take my ideas. Why not just work with me and we can be wealthy together? That was very innocent and very, naive way of thinking, But I would think that that's the way you become successful. But not everybody becomes successful like that. That's how I plan to become successful. Everybody's not like that. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. Back to back. And I stepped into the Matrix. I let the Matrix take me. And I was upset. I was pissed. And I'm glad I did, because it brought me back around. That anger, that frustration made me want to do what I do better, more, travel. Like I said, I just came back from New York, get more inspiration, and be like, now, if these millionaires, and the studio owner, I don't think he's a millionaire, but there's some millionaires that I've been working with right after that did the same thing, basically, or was getting ready. If these millionaires are wanting to steal my ideas, then they must be pretty good ideas. And I can always come up with more ideas. Like that idea that he stole, like blatantly, just like blatantly stole, I'm already evolved from that. That was like 4 years ago. I've changed the idea. I've evolved it so many different times since then that he's still 4 years behind me. So anybody that steals my idea, they're still behind me. They can't copy what's inside my brain in the future. You know what I mean? You can only take what I've done right now. So I'm not going to let whatever you've done right now keep me from what I'm going to do in the future. And all you do is give me more confidence to let me know that I'm the shit. I'm the shit. And I think that I have a little swag because I just came from New York. But I don't give myself nearly enough credit. I don't even think humble is the word. I think I've really benefited or whatever in childhood from being invisible, growing up in all white neighborhoods and dealing with racists, like haters. The biggest haters that I've had in my life have always been people that are supposed to be in charge, like managers, teachers in school. Like, if your bullies are teachers, what you supposed to do? Like, something ain't right with that. You know what I mean? And my teachers were the bullies. My coaches were the bullies. And so, and managers, when I started working consistently, so I'm just like, what's happening? Those are my agents of this world. And like a lot of times they'll try to get you to be a part of their way of thinking, get into their way of thinking, like the agents in the beginning. At first, they wanted to make a deal with Neo, the one, and say, hey, if you cooperate with us, then you won't have a problem, right? But if you're the one and you know what you want, you know what you want to do, and you know who you are, and I've always had this kind of swag, even since like I was little. I knew that, like, I was in the all-white schools, but I was black. I was not about to be, like, tap dancing for nobody. I never tap dance. Even as a gay person, as a lesbian, I'm not about to tap dance for no straight people. I'm not about to kiki with y'all if y'all saying some ignorant stuff that I don't agree with. And same thing with white people or any other race. And so when that happens, or any institution, if I'm working on a job and you want me to do some stuff that I'm not getting paid for, well, you got to pay me for that. Otherwise, it ain't going to happen. So I've always had this type of issue because there's always just been something in me that was just like, nah, this ain't going to work. So, yeah. So when you don't, you get resistance. But that resistance makes you stronger unless you fold. If you don't fold, it'll make you stronger. All these cliches, I know. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, whatever. But there are so many lessons learned in adversity that people don't understand. Like, we're taught to not fail, not want to get an F. I got F's, D's, C's in school. The struggle to get an A. I got an A a couple times. But F, D's, and C's, that's where I was living. So as an entrepreneur, that's kind of where you live. As an artist, that's kind of where you live until you figure out, because there's no blueprint just laid out for you. So you have to live in the F, D's, and C's until you become excellent at you. And that's something that, like, failing is only a perception of the matrix. So you can never really fail if you're figuring out what you want to do. And that's why I think social media is it can be very discouraging for a lot of people, because we're constantly measuring ourselves against people who are creating these fake matrices for you to see, for you to scroll up and down, and it's just not real. And so I think that, we are all the shit of our own lives. And once we start to, like, we are the one, I am the one, and Anoki the one, actually, like, it's a Indian term, Native American and Indian. In Native American culture, Anoki, spelled Anoci, means actor, which is interesting. I had a dream about actor being actress possibilities, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Who knows? Then the Indian version, which is Anokhi, also Hindu, also Hebrew in the Bible. It means I am, very powerfully. And it's not like I am hungry. It's like I am bold. I am love. I am the one. So whenever you say Anoki the one, you're saying I am the one. So if you say my name, my artist name, Anoki the one, you're telling yourself, you're giving yourself an affirmation that you are the one. I am the one. And you are. So that's what I've been, these haters, thieves, and in this adversity has always taught me. It's always like built me up, because that's just a part of the process. Like when the agents were coming after Neo, what's the first thing he does? What's the first thing Morpheus has him to do? Sit in that chair, get that chip in your head. I've been doing online courses. I'm developing my own online course because there's a lot that I've learned that I feel like people would benefit from in an organized way that's not just from YouTube University, which I spent countless hours wasted trying to figure things out in an organized way, which is not possible. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of online courses. I've been reading a lot more recently. I started reading Think and Grow Rich again, which is one of those things that put me on. Like, you need to read Think and Grow Rich. You need to read, period. But Think and Grow Rich is that book, is the plug. But I've been reading that more. And so when I come back, I'm going to talk about Jay-Z, NFL. What's going on? The deal. I'm going to talk about it. I'll be back after this miggity mix. Hit y'all with that new Ashanti.
Ashanti.
Hey.
Afrobeat.
Y'all know about that.
Why so?
Yeah.
Yeah. I go be a Django, yeah. I know go, let go, yeah.
Hey.
I go be a Django, yeah. I know go, let go, yeah. Baby, come follow me.
Yeah.
Why so? Follow me. Why so? Yeah, baby, come follow me. Why so? Follow me. Why so? Yeah, come follow me. Why so? Follow me. Why so? Yeah, baby, come follow me. Why so? Follow me. Yeah. Why so? Yeah.
Pretty little thing, I'm your pretty little thing, I'm your pretty little thing, I'm your pretty little thing. Whenever it comes to you, memories all rewind, 'cause every thought of you playing inside my mind.
Yeah.
It's so vivid, the way that I see it. You got me feeling, baby. And wherever you go, I'ma follow you. You got a hold of my eyes. Now we can make love.
I go be a Django, yeah. I know go, let go, yeah. I go be a Django, yeah. I know go, let go, yeah. Baby, come follow me. Why so? Follow me. Why so? Yeah, baby, come follow me. Why so? Follow me. Why so? Yeah, come follow me. Why so? Follow me. Why so? Yeah, baby, come follow me. Why so? Follow me. Yeah. Why so? Yeah. Come for me, grind on me. Tell me the truth, don't lie to me. I'll give you what you need. I go be a Django, yeah. I know go, let go, yeah. I go be a Django, yeah. I know go, let go, yeah. Baby, come follow me. Why so? Follow me. Why so? Yeah, baby, come follow me. Why so? Follow me. Why so? Yeah, come follow me. Why so? Follow me. Why so? Yeah, baby, come follow me. Why so? Follow me. Yeah. Why so? Yeah. Why so unassuming. You gon' shine your eyes, you don't put it on me. Put the liquor spell on me. What thing you do to me? You no go walk on me. You go see. You go 999. You go shake it. You go see that goddess in La Bruja, La Bruja. She never die, she could die my room, La Bruja, La Bruja. She never die, she could die my room, La Bruja, La Bruja. She never die, she dies in Yalila, Yalila. Sophie woman, read me, room me till I fall asleep up on your bosom. Sophie woman, you're a lion, but you walk around so unassuming. Jimmy, gypsy woman, we go dance until we dizzy. Gypsy woman, do your power got me tipsy. I dead, now you from the star. You left lipstick on my eye. I look dead inside the star. You go shine your eyes, you don't put it on me. Put the liquor spell on me. Anything you do to me, you no go walk on me. You go see. You go 999. You go shake it. You go see that goddess in La Bruja, La Bruja. She never die, she could die my room, La Bruja, La Bruja. She never die, she could die my room, La Bruja, La Bruja. She never die, she dies in Yalila, Yalila. Sophie woman, bring me roomy till I fall asleep up on your bosom. Sophie woman, you're a lion, but you walk around so unassuming. Tiptoe, Sophie woman, bring me roomy. You go see. You go 999. You go shake it. You go see that goddess in La Bruja, La Bruja. She never die, she could die my room, La Bruja, La Bruja. She never die, she could die my room, La Bruja, La Bruja. She never die, she dies in Yalila, Yalila.
Seven, girl, you dip on my bread. And I know you want me to go down on my knees. But you can't eat that, but you know this. And I want you to know that, girl, it's not that deep. So what's up? You alright? I pull up, I'm outside. What's up? That's where I prove you wrong, Cause I love you for life, you know, go understand. I'm smarting if I bust a million for you. Girl, I don't even mind, I know go think I'm twice. So what's up? You alright? I pull up, I'm outside. What's up? When you've been sitting in my mind, it be you I think about like all day. Never did that thing that I be standing there today, cause I came a long way from God. Love and the vibe is between me and you, baby, don't go telling nobody. My girl, you're shining just like my wrist, baby, welcome to this side. 24/7, you've been sitting in my mind, it be you I think about like all day. Never did that thing that I be standing there today, cause I came a long way from God. Love and the vibe is between me and you, baby, don't go telling nobody. My girl, you're shining just like my wrist, baby, welcome to
All right, I'll see y'all for the next part. Bye. All right. So we are back for what some of you have been waiting for me to talk about, which I don't be talking about current events, but I think that talking about current events and things like that, I used to be kind of resistant and like, I don't be worried about that stuff. I really don't. But I think it helps for like the masses to understand how this all relates to the matrix and things that I talk about. And the media is the matrix of this world, of this earth. People see things on TV, on Instagram, on Facebook, all this other stuff, and they think that it's reality. They assume that this is reality. Any little thing that someone says is now truth because one person says it. So with the whole Jay-Z NFL deal stuff. So the issue that people have been having is that, for one, we're supposed to be boycotting. Black people, we are supposed to be boycotting the NFL because they did not treat Colin Kaepernick right when he kneeled. He took a knee for the flags because he wanted to make a point about how black people are being gunned down in society and nothing is happening. And basically, y'all happy to see us tap dancing and tackling each other and making touchdowns, but y'all don't want to address the issues that we going through once we leave the locker room and go into real life where we're still black. So, and I've had this conversation with somebody. They were like, what is all this knee stuff? I can't believe it doesn't make any sense. I can't even watch my football game without these people taking the kneel. And I'm tired of all this race stuff. And NFL football games was the one thing I could watch without, all this black stuff all over. They didn't say black stuff, but basically black stuff. All right. So my thing was like, wait, they're black when they're on the field. They're also black when they leave the locker room and everything else, when they're not entertaining you and taking you out of this privilege that you have to not have to think about this every day because you don't feel like you're going to lose your life when the police stop you. I feel like I'm going to lose my life when the police is behind me. I haven't even done nothing wrong. I feel like I'm just about to lose my life. I shouldn't feel like that. I should not have to feel like that. And it is a privilege to be able to watch the NFL and feel like that's a place where you don't have to feel like that. Well, guess what? Anyways, so I think y'all get my point. So the issue is Jay-Z was gung-ho about everybody. Gung-ho. The Rock. He was gung-ho about, boycotting the NFL, I guess, like not performing for the Super Bowl. Now that I think about it, I mean, so basically, and when I approached this, when I first was going to talk about it, like I didn't have any sides or anything like that or anything, I still don't, but like I think it's interesting, ironic if this were to be something. If you think about it, like suggesting that, black people and stuff like that not play for the Super Bowl, all while planning, which we don't know if he was planning this or not, the secret deal with the NFL, where he's going to be assisting them on putting people on for the Super Bowl and all this other stuff, performing. So basically, y'all don't perform for the Super Bowl. Don't perform. Forget the NFL. Hove, The Rock is in the building. So then The Rock becomes in the building. They don't want you to perform because they want The Rock to be in the building so they can perform, so he can control who's going to be performing and all this stuff. And then, I don't know if any of this is true. This is all basic stuff. But, and then turn around and now like, yeah, we got this deal. And you know what? We know what the issue is. The issue is not Colin Kaepernick not having a job. The issue is black men getting killed in the streets. So what's the issue? You know what the issue is? You know what the issue is? We all know what the issue is. Now it's time for us to do something about it. Now, the NFL, is football players being in the NFL, is the NFL in general going to stop police brutality? Or is it just going to stop people from getting reprimanded when they take a knee? Is that why you should go from the inside? Or might have made more sense, like, if that was the thing, it would have made more sense to be like, I'm going to be a cop. I guess that would have made more sense. The cops are the killing. People in the NFL ain't killing black people. You get what I'm saying? So, all this Matrix stuff. So, for one, all the people that are all riled up, that were riled up in the first place, like, I realized early on that, like, I've read books about the media. All this stuff is Jedi mind tricks. I've heard Matthew Knowles talk about, I went to a conference, he talked about Jedi mind tricks of the Matrix, the media. And we're being controlled. Our emotions are being controlled. Any little thing we're being controlled. We're being distracted from what's really real. And the only thing that's really real, this is what I want y'all to understand. The only thing that's really real that you can really say is real is what's going on in your present situation, your life. You're going to do this. And it's not sleep. The most woke thing you can ever do is say, I'm going to focus on me and what I need to do for the people that I want to do it for. The most woke thing you can do in this situation is not post a hashtag and all this other stuff and be the agent for someone else's matrix because you don't agree with them or you don't understand where they come from, whether they're a racist white person or whether they're whatever they are. The best thing you can do, because I've dealt with very real racists. There's a lot of people that are hashtag woke talking about how horrible white people are and all this other stuff. They've never actually dealt with real racism and real white people. Same thing with a lot of white people, and I think that's what happened. And that's why I feel like I'm not so hard, like, because I know that there are good people and bad people in every race, in every situation. And so, and I've dealt with real racism. I've dealt with real homophobia. I've dealt with real racism from white people and other races, Indian, Asian, all kinds of different races. I've dealt with real homophobia from black people and all the other races combined. So that lets me know that I can't just hate on anybody because it makes no sense for me to do that because I've been... You get what I'm saying? So the most woke thing you can do is say, this is what I'm good at. This is how I can help my community directly. Now, whether Jay-Z is whatever the case may be, when I see all this stuff in the media, I see all this stuff, period, I think bird's eye view, like bird's eye view, because I think all of this stuff is controlled. All of it. I think I think black people are really getting killed in the streets. But I do think also, just like with Rodney King, like that whole thing was basically staged. Like it was literally, and I don't think these black people that are getting killed today, I don't know what's going on really. I wouldn't say that it's staged or whatever, but literally if you read his book, the lighting in that video where he's getting beat up was lit perfectly. Like, how do you get that great of a shot? If the government doesn't want a video out, it's not going to get out. It's not going to come out. What you see is what they want you to see. How you feel is how they want you to feel. How you're reacting is how they want you to react. What the best thing you can do with this Matrix situation, because I've been caught up and I was just like, what the hell they shooting and killing us? And I'm like, wait a minute, what do I feel? Only because I've studied the media. I've studied it. And I'll show you a picture that really, you know, had an impact on me when I'm thinking about all this stuff. What do I feel? And I had to keep, this is an exercise. What do I feel? I feel anxious. I feel angry. I feel frustrated. I feel helpless. Ooh, wow. What do they want you to feel? Angry, frustrated, helpless. You can't concentrate on actually doing the work that you need to do in your own life. Like, your life is not where you want it to be. I'm not saying your life, whatever. My life wasn't where I wanted to be at that point. Like, well, how do I have the energy and the time to be focused on this when I got a whole simulation I'm trying to create? I'm trying to hop out the matrix. I'm not trying to hop in it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, spending that kind of energy thinking about this stuff and getting angry. You know how much energy it takes to be angry about something that you can't do anything about? You don't even know anything about? Like, even the situation, people were saying that he called up Jermaine Dupri. Basically, they filled in things. So, basically, Brian Michael Cox, he had a podcast after all this news came out saying that, man, they drugged my man's Jermaine Dupri. And Jay-Z called Jermaine Dupri, spoke with him. They cut those few seconds, chopped it up. It was like, man, Jay-Z called Jermaine Dupri when Jermaine Dupri was doing those concerts in Atlanta and told him not to do it. Did Brian Michael Cox say all that? No. Who said that? Nobody. They just made it up. So then Jermaine Dupri gets on, which is also ironic because he talks about how, like, he had been doing all this stuff in the community in Atlanta for the community of people who had family members that had been shot and all kinds of things like that, and community building. And this was only a part of the community building because so much attention was coming to Atlanta. He's the mayor of Atlanta, so he wanted to do something for the people in Atlanta who could not attend a regular concert that costs all this money. So he's able to do it for free. And he was able to put on artists that wouldn't be able to get on there otherwise. So, I mean, and they dragged him for doing that. They dragged him because the stadium he was doing it at was associated with the NFL. But y'all still be watching the NFL. Like, I don't understand. Like, these same people that's dragging Jay-Z right now. I'm not defending Jay-Z at all. I don't even know. I can't tell you. I will not participate in the Matrix because I don't know nothing what's going on. Y'all dragging all these people, but y'all stay with their jerseys. Y'all stay watching at the bar, watching the NFL. Y'all not dragging all the black people that are in the NFL still. They work for the NFL. They're playing for the NFL. What is your focus became the NFL when the issue is people are getting shot and killed. Now, that is Matrix at its finest. Like, you could have been focused on a worthy cause. Like, let's figure out this issue. How can we stop black men and women from getting killed by the police? Now, how the media has managed to get your focus off that to boycott the NFL, which has never shot a black man or shot anybody, but they just were racist, which almost every institution in America that is big, 9 times the Chase account, the Bank of America account that you are putting your monies in, was built on slavery. Like, if you wanna do that, play that game, do it all the way. That's all I'm saying. So I just feel like this is another situation of the Matrix. Like, if you want to focus on police brutality, for me, my thing has been, I'm an artist. I'm good at art. I'm good at making music, and I like to teach art. I like to educate people on art. And that has been my escape. So if I can, and I've done this, I've gone to homeless shelters for teens. I've gone to different communities and basically brought my equipment and allowed people to record, young black people to record their music, get all that frustration out, and enjoy that moment, like escape for a moment. Like literally I would pull up to Salvation Army because I had all my equipment, pull up to Salvation Army with my equipment week after week. And there's one week where there was helicopters flying. These kids was bad. Helicopters flying. Carolina Street. And I think it's 3rd Ward. I think, maybe. Helicopters flying because they got in a bad fight. I walk up in there with my equipment. And they're like, hold on, wait, everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. We trying to record. When I tell you, those kids was just like, oh, y'all better calm down. It ain't even that serious. We can handle this afterwards. After we get this out real quick. After we record, we can handle that. But, yeah, we ain't about to miss this week. Like, every week, they were good. I didn't have no problems out of nobody. When I brought that equipment in there, it was good. And so I want to, make impact in people's lives. And if I can get people out of the streets, which it's unfortunate that you have to get people out of the streets because you shouldn't have to worry about being killed for being in the streets. Even if you get in a fight with somebody, you should not have to worry about being killed. But sadly, because of the media, because of the Matrix, because, mind what you wear, people don't realize, even police wearing those outfits. I was reading a book about how, I think it's called Mind What You Wear, actually. It's about psychology and clothing. And it talked about how they did an experiment with college students. They always doing experiments with college students. I don't know why, but they just need some extra cash, I guess. But did an experiment with college students, and they had one group of college students dress up like prison guards. And then they had the other group of college students dress up as prisoners. They put them in this prison for 48 hours or something like that, and told them to act out, act out being a prison guard and a prisoner. And I think in less than 24 hours, the prison guards started to become very tyrant. And then they started to become abusive. And then they started to become evil. And doing some crazy, beating people. And you're like, hold up, wait, y'all some college students. We doing an experiment. But because of that outfit, because of the position you're told to play, that you're put in, you become something because you're a part of a group that is doing this. You see them doing that. And it's also in a book called The Lucifer Effect that I have. The Lucifer Effect. And I think it's important to read books about things that, are different than what you think you could ever be. Most people don't think that they could ever do anything evil ever. But there is an effect. It literally is called Understanding How Good People Turn Evil. And little psychological things. There's things going on in our subconscious mind that we don't understand, and clothing is one of those things. And so the point I was making is that just police, and they know this. They know this for us, and they know this for them. Police putting on that uniform, just like in the military, you put on this uniform and you become something else. You can now kill people and not feel anything about it because that's your right. You're protected by law to kill. And that's kind of your job. That's been the thing that you've done all these different years. So until that whole paradigm is shifted, we have to shift. That's the stuff that we should be talking about. Not the NFL. Not the NFL. Not Jay-Z and the NFL. That kind of stuff. So, that being said, my thoughts about Jay-Z and the NFL deal is that it's a distraction. And I know y'all hate when people say it's a distraction, but guess what? It's a distraction because, and I think that most people just don't really care like they act like they do. They don't really care that much to actually do something about it. It's easier to point fingers at somebody who they feel like is betraying the movement. But what movement are you a part of? Like, what are you doing? And so that's what I think that people should be thinking about. Like, what could be a solution? That's really, like, I've gone to town hall meetings and people, they're literally arguing about what the solution is. Everybody has a different, some people say we should sign a petition. Some people say we should have black people lining the neighborhoods like the Black Panthers did. I agree with that. I agree with both. I think we should sign petitions. And I don't think they're that great of a use, but hey, who knows? Sign petitions, have black people in neighborhoods that have had police brutality, line the neighborhoods, protect your neighborhoods. I think that that's a sensible thing to do. Like, I think that there's multiple solutions and multiple things, and until something starts to work, that's what you should do. I mean, boycotting the NFL is not going to stop the police from shooting people. Is it? I mean, has it? Y'all let me know in the comments. Let me know. If y'all can let me know how boycotting the NFL has stopped black people from getting shot and how it will. Comment to me how boycotting the NFL or Jay-Z or canceling whoever you feel like whatever celebrity that you feel like is not a part of the cause. If y'all feel like that's gonna do something, please let me know in the comments, and I'm gonna be a part of it if it sounds like it makes sense. But a lot of stuff that y'all doing on the social media stuff is just for the gram, it's just for the YouTube, it's just for the Facebook, and it's not grounded in anything. Like, I don't want to disappear. I want to feel protected in this world, in America. And I'm going to try to do what I can do. I feel like this conversation, speaking my mind is one thing, but also my business is another thing. Yeah, being in the community, doing things. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully things change. We need things to change. But I just don't think the NFL is built for that. It's literally not created for that. So, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. If you think that Jay-Z is trash, if you think Jermaine Dupri and Brian Cox is trash, I don't think any of them are trash. I don't know them. I won't know if they're trash until I meet them in person. If I ever meet them in person and they're trash, I'll let y'all know. If y'all ever meet them in person and you feel like they're trash, until then, you're just doomed to the Matrix. So, I'll see y'all in the next episode, but this has been real. Out!